it's Hannah Fletcher with MUSE TV, and I'm speaking with Brandon Delsid. I am so excited to be speaking with you. And we were just talking right before we began shooting, but I'm loving this view. This apartment is gorgeous. You look amazing. I'm so excited to be speaking with you today.
Hannah, you're making my day. Can you just come with me everywhere? Can you just
I'll just compliment you. Just stick me in your pocket.
permanently? It's like those starfish in Aquamarine where they're just like your new best friends and complimenting you. I need those.
Oh my gosh, that'd be icon. I love that. I love that compliment so much. Thank you. Well, I'm so excited to be speaking with you. I'm really excited to kind of dive in and really talk to you about your most recent work and your projects. Before we get to everything, obviously, I'm a big sucker for an origin story, and you've had the opportunity to really encapsulate both screen and stage. And as a person who grew up doing like live theater myself, like I love that. And I think that's so important. How did you find yourself coming into the acting space initially? What is your origin story?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, every superhero or supervillain has their origin. It all starts somewhere. Um, well, I grew up in Fresno, California, and I'll never forget. I mean, it was a production of Oliver the Musical. Not the most thrilling, edgy piece of theater to date, but my grandma had taken me, and my grandma, who I call my honey, and I was so obsessed with what was going on that stage. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to do that. And that was 20 years ago. Um, and I just was kind of hooked. I was like, soccer, not for me, not in this lifetime, no matter how hard they tried to push it on me. And I just kind of found my thing, it's taken time. It's such a journey. I mean, everybody talks about this. It's like the iceberg, where you see the tip of it and you see the successes start coming, but there's this huge body of work underneath. But I just feel so grateful for the journey. And yeah, the last 2 years have been the dream come true, kind of the manifestation come true. And it feels good, after a lot of hard work.
Absolutely. I love that it sounds like you had such a great support system. I don't think everybody can confidently say that. So the fact that you had that is very instrumental, both obviously in your success, which you have, like you said, these past 2 years have been amazing for you, and it's really starting to come to fruition for you. But again, I just think that the support is so instrumental. So I commend your support system for that. I just want to say I'm big on that for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it takes a village, and you find, and it's not always your family. Sometimes it's your friends, but it's better to do this journey, whatever your journey is, but it's better to try to bring other people along if you can.
Absolutely. Now, one thing that I want to touch on is you had the opportunity to be in an off-Broadway version of The Big Bang Theory, which love the show. I'm a huge fan of that show. Like I try to watch TV and I try to watch things and I'll start a lot, but I don't finish a lot. And like Big Bang
Sure.
Theory, I think over the course of all the years, I've just seen every episode. So what was this
Yes.
opportunity like for you? And what was your relationship to the show? I just thought that that was so interesting when I was doing my research into you.
Oh my gosh. That was such a cool moment. I look back on my career and that was one of those like pivotal moments I knew I would always be grateful for. I mean, to get to be performing off Broadway in New York City. I mean, I literally would squeal getting off the subway and seeing, the Wicked sign and seeing the Winter Garden Theater and performing right next to both of them at the N.L. Bernstein. And I made some of my lifelong friends through it. I mean, that's really like, sounds cheesy, but some of the best parts of doing this is how close, you get with the people and the bonds that you form for a lifetime. But I'm just so grateful for the experience. And The Big Bang Theory is one of those like iconic sitcoms, so to kind of get to do something like that early on was really fulfilling. I mean, it was kind of a masterclass in comedy. My cast, like I said, was top notch, top of their game. And I look back on it with like such magical feelings, like bottling up, even as I talk about it. Yeah, I mean, that kind of sitcom style is really neat, and I gravitate towards that. I grew up watching like I Love Lucy and a lot of sitcoms and stuff, and so that's kind of in my wheelhouse. And yeah, it's a really special moment I think back on a lot.
Absolutely. I'm curious to ask you too, just from my own point of view and just out of my own pure curiosity, when you're tackling a role like that, because you have the opportunity, and we'll touch on this as well, with having been in This Is Me Now, there's certain inspirations that are going to come for feeding your character for something like that. But in this case, you're playing somebody that people are very familiar with, but also there's kind of like a cult following almost for a certain level of like Big Bang Theory fans. What was it like stepping into the shoes of Raj? What did you bring to the
Yeah.
character? What did you maybe take as inspiration? What was that process like for really flushing him out for you?
Yeah, I mean, such an iconic part, an iconic show, and the fans are diehard. I mean, some of them would come, and I was like, "Oh my God, these fans are tougher critics than the New York Times. Like, they're coming out here, they're hot, they're
Yeah.
passionate, they're ready to be entertained." And
Mhm.
I think as an actor, a big part of the journey, and it's a thing in life, is kind of trusting yourself, trusting your instincts, and doing the work, being prepared, and then you just kind of have to let it go. You kind of have to just surrender to the process. But obviously, I watched a ton of episodes of The Big Bang Theory to prepare, and my castmates, we kind of did that together. And, I felt like for me, it was important to honor the role, but also bring myself to it, and I think that's a fun thing I've really figured out about acting over the last couple years is, at the end of the day, everybody is an energy. And I think it's kind of bringing your energy and your specific style to whatever you're doing, whether it's a role in a off-Broadway show or whether it's, a first date, going out to dinner. It's kind of like bringing the best of yourself and molding it and crafting it. And it was just an honor to be a part of, though. Yeah, that was my first off-Broadway show. And yeah, I've been really grateful. I started out in theater,
Mhm.
and I'm luckily have been able to do some TV and film the last couple of years as well, which I love. But it's been full circle to come back around to theater the last couple of years.
Exactly. And and we're gonna get to even with fake it to, until you make it as well. But that's what I just really love. I love the idea of being able to like I think there's a certain catharsis that the theater will give you that film cannot, but it doesn't knock film at all. Film's amazing in and of itself too. I think that it's just there's this energy that's affiliated with live theater that unless you do it or you've done it, you don't know it, you know. Talk to me about This Is Me Now. What an amazing opportunity that was for you. I saw that you posted it's been just about a year now, so congratulations on that. All-star cast. What was that like for you having
Oh
been
my
in that?
gosh. I mean, This Is Me Now. I feel like forever will be a huge part of my career and the beginning and kind of also my origin story. I mean, to get to work with J-Lo, to kind of, build this film that was so special and personal to her. I mean, she was a co-writer on it, as well as Ben Affleck and
Yes.
Chris Schaefer, and they were just so involved. It was kind of being like at band camp, where it was like all of these extremely talented forces of nature coming together to create this. And the cast, Jane Fonda and
Huge.
Kim Petras, Post Malone, Kiki Palmer, Sofia Vergara, like all-star cast. And it was one of the biggest, greatest joys of my life. I mean, to get to work with her, she was a tour de force performer, could not have been kinder, and held space for everybody. I mean, she would let us improv with her, which is a thing.
That's awesome.
It's something you don't always get to do. And she was like, guys, let's play. Like, let's throw some stuff out. And a lot of that stuff made it in the film. Um, but that experience changed me, I think, as a performer. It showed me what I was capable of, and it broadened everything for me. It changed my scope of life, my outlook on, how big you can dream. It was a dream come true, and I was like, wow, I have to keep dreaming and keep um, going. And her hustle and her drive, I don't think there's anybody that can match it.
It's amazing. I recently watched the halftime special that she has on Netflix, and I was like, I understand that, there people are going to say whatever people say, but at the end of the day, that woman has an insane amount of drive and hustle. I mean, the fact that even like you said, like she let you guys just like play and encourage that and everything. I love that she really took the time to do that. I mean, she's busy. Like there's no secret about that. I love
Yeah.
that that was
No, there
the
was
space for
so
you.
much freedom to play and to
Yes.
be creative. And I've seen her since then, and she's always
Oh,
just lovely and kind. And I feel like this specific project, It meant a lot to her because, it's about self-love. It's the film, and I
Yes.
think sometimes people have missed it. What the film is ultimately about, it's about loving yourself. And there's a line at the end that I love, and I think is the heart of the movie, and it's like, whatever happens, if nothing happens, I'll be okay.
Mhm.
And in regards to, love and life and kind of just being okay on your own. And um, I think, yeah, that's the big message to take from it. And I think um, that's a big mission for her, is getting that message out there for everybody.
Absolutely. And ultimately it opened up the door for you to continue with your career. And now you're in Fake It Until You Make It with, and I mean, I love Julie Bowen so much. I've had the opportunity to speak with her. She's amazing and obviously an icon in and of herself, but she's so kind. She's like, I don't know how to explain her. She's got the best energy.
She
Talk to
she
me all
really
about
does.
this
I love the way you're
opportunity.
talking about her because I can tell you talk with her.
She's
She's
like, yeah, I don't know how to like if I could like describe her like in an action. I feel like 'cause she's bubbly, but she's like certain. I don't know how to describe her, but she's so
yeah.
cool. I love speaking with her. She's so neat.
Mm.
But talk to me all about this opportunity for you. And obviously, this is huge. You're back to the roots of theater here, and you're with an amazing cast as well. What can you tease? What I'm opening up the floor for you. Go for it for
Mm.
Fake It Until You Make
My God. Well, yeah, just starting with Julie Bowen. I mean, a incredible human performer, mother. I cannot say enough positive things about Julie Bowen. I mean, I love it. I feel like in the last year I've gotten to go from J Lo to J Bo, and they're both these
That's
out of the
great.
box performers that are at the top of their game.
Hmm.
And I've just always tried. I've always been, I'm a Real Housewives gay of the, late '90s. So I've always been inspired by powerful women, and
Hmm.
I've been so inspired by both of these women. But Julie leads our show like a fearless captain. It's an incredible play I've been working on for 2 years with Larissa Fasthorse, who was the
Wow.
first Native American playwright to ever get a play to Broadway about 2 years ago, the Thanksgiving play.
Wow. Oh
And
my
I
goodness.
know, huge, very
That's
historic,
massive. Oh,
massive, massive deal. When you really think about it, the first one. And this is her next project. And so we'll be doing it here in Los Angeles at the Mark Taper Forum through March 9th. And then we'll be taking it to Washington, D.C., and
yes.
playing at the arena stage to test for New York and Broadway. And it's been another dream manifestation come true. And it feels a lot of times like a modern family fever dream. It's There's only five of us, and Julie Bowen's our captain, and um, it's an incredible show. It's funny, it's quick, it's deep, it's sexy, it's edgy. I've never been in anything like it. It's essentially about a group of people running charities, and it's kind of like a little bit of like Real Housewives of downtown LA. All of these people kind of fighting for what they want, but ultimately it's about identity and DNA, and in an interesting time for that, how you identify culturally, and lots of drama, lots of hot steamy moments, and Julie Bowen. What more do you need to know?
I love that. I really want to see it. I'm very excited. I'm really aiming to catch it before you guys head off to DC, which I'm from the DC area. So when I was reading all about that, I'm just like, I love that you guys are doing that. And I just think it's great that you guys are able to be able to have that partnership like that with Arena. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
awesome. That's
please come
huge.
see us. Tell me when you come, so
Yes.
so I can see you after, and I'll tell Julie.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, I'll DM you. Yes. I would
yes,
love to.
I
Yeah.
think you'd love it. There's nothing like it. I grew up on theater. I go to New York as often as I can to see Broadway and what's coming up next. And there's nothing like this. It's out there in a good way. It's out there. It's
Out there.
sexy, new, very unique.
Awesome. I love that. Well, I'm obviously very hopeful too that, it goes above and beyond even. I'm sure again with Arena Stage as well, like you guys are going to do great. I have no doubt for making sure that it lands to where it needs to. And I'm hoping that I hope the cast stays the same. That would be amazing. I'm really hopeful that you get to continue on into that. That would be wonderful. I'm rooting for you for that, for
Oh,
sure.
thank you, babe. Yeah, it's been really neat. It's like I said, 2.5 years in the making. And so it's been neat. I've never been with a show that long where you've been part of the development process. And yeah, it's been
Right.
very Smash on NBC, if you've ever seen Smash. It's been a lot of like
Okay.
changes,
Okay.
new cast
Yeah.
members. And so I feel very grateful. I think, the only cast member from the original workshops that's in this production now. And so it's been really cool. Yeah, very fulfilling moment.
In terms of like character dynamics and evolution, especially for having been a part of a project for so long like this, what have you noticed a bunch of different like nuances and shifts? Like I feel like when we read books or read scripts over and over again, we always find something that we could interpret differently or play differently, or even like, maybe it has a double meaning and we didn't even know, or a deeper meaning. What has that been like for you, having been able to work on this body of work for such a long period of time?
It's been wild. I mean, to see the evolution of the play, it's a living, breathing thing. And I love that the play's gotten more modern. It's gotten sexier. I love, the storyline I get to have.
Mm.
I kind of am the queer storyline in the show, which is really important to me. And I kind of have this full circle arc that feels liberating. And I love that it's a story about queer joy. And it's empowering, I think, for queer people in a way to see that. It's not so much about this specific story about the trauma or coming out or,
Right.
not being allowed space. It's about being allowed space. And it's modern and it's sexy and it's only gotten more of that over the years. And I'm so grateful to Larissa Fasthorse. I mean, we've become good friends outside of this play. And
Mm.
I feel like the roles become more me over the years, which has been really neat to see. It's closer to me, and I kind of don't know sometimes where I end and the character Chris begins. And it's fulfilling, as a performer and an actor, and to be young and to kind of be taking on roles like this that are meaty early on feels really good. It's challenging, of course, but I feel so much connection to my cast. And there's only 6 of us up there. So it's a really tight knit group.
Amazing. Oh, I love it. Well, Brandon, I just want to say thank you so much for speaking with me. Congratulations on all of your success. Thank you for sharing your stories and your processes. And I think you're a wonderful person. I'm definitely going to see that show before you guys head over to DC. I'm putting it on my calendar of things to do to get a ticket. But thank you so much for speaking with me, and congratulations again. I can't wait to speak to you about the next project that you have going
I
on. I'm
can't
sure
wait, Hannah.
you'll
It's a
be
it's
booked
a
and busy.
date. It's a date. You,
Yes.
me, and Julie Bowen. Let's do it.
Stop. I would cry. I love her. Tell Julie I love her. It'll be a minute
I'm gonna
since I've
pass on the
talked to
love.
her,
I'm
but
gonna
I'll
see
tell.
her in a couple hours, so I'm gonna pass it
All
on.
right. Perfect. Thank you so much again for speaking with us, and
Thank you, babe. Mwah.
congratulations.